AI agents have been changing the way that we think about intelligent automation and what can be automated in general. And over the past year, we've discovered a lot of best practices, and some tools have emerged to help us combine multiple AI agents and humans and RPA workflows into orchestrated end-to-end business processes. And I want to show today a little bit about how that has come together on the example of the UiPath platform. Today we're going to talk about and look at a close look at UiPath Maestro, which is the product that ties in BPM process modeling as well as operations execution monitoring into the automation platform. So here is a demo process that we created out of accounts payable use case for reconciliation of payments. The specific task involved here is invoice matching. So for given invoices in an accounts payable folder, match those to payments derived from a bank statement. And the power of business process modeling is that we don't need to task all of this sub-process to a single AI agent, but rather we can place agents deliberately on tasks that require intelligence, and we can mix them with other tasks that don't. For example, RPA workflows for pulling the invoices at the beginning of the process, or human actions for approving or resolving low confidence situations, or other kinds of automated tasks like API integrations. And this allows the process flow to execute actions that are defined elsewhere. Like in the first action I have here, it's an RPA workflow, right? Which then gets an icon on the upper left-hand side to declinate that as executing an RPA workflow and waiting for the outputs, or of course an AI agent like we do twice here in my demo as well. And at that point, it's important to point out that you aren't restricted to AI agents built on the UiPath platform when you're using Maestro. You can also start external agents that you may have built in Copilot Studio, for example, or on AWS or other third parties, and tie them right into your orchestrated workflow. And this is powerful for monitoring, orchestrating technology end-to-end, where you already have some capabilities like RPA workflows that you rely on, or AI agents from other vendors that you want to make part of the entire solution. So tying together AI agents, RPA workflows, API integrations, and humans into a single business process that's operational on a production-ready basis is the power here hidden behind Maestro. So for each invoice that we find in the accounts payable folder, we're going to use an agent to extract the necessary information about the vendor, the amount, and the date of the invoice. And if confidence level is low, because for the demo, we're deliberately using an older model, which will often be unsure about some of that data, we can tie a human into the loop to confirm things like dates and amounts. If their confidence is above threshold, of course, we move right on into cross-checking with a more intelligent agent that uses a modern Gen AI model to and context grounding to cross-check the invoice data with the bank statement, and then determine whether this invoice has been paid or not. In the sense of unpaid invoices, it gets moved to a different folder. In the context of paid invoices, we'll do one more human action to get an overview of what was going on and move that then into the already paid folder as well. For the sense of a demo, we use a loop here in order to go through each individual invoice one after the next. But of course, that loop wouldn't be necessary in a production environment where you can launch an instance of this business process workflow for every invoice in that folder and work them off in parallel. And there, of course, avoiding any holdup for human interaction on a single invoice so that it doesn't affect all of the other invoices. So you can test this in a development environment, but of course, after the workflow and all of the components thereof are published, then you can also run these instances in a production environment, which is what I want to show today. So here is a previous execution of one of these workflow instances, and you can see that you have a lot of background information about that execution, including some of the extractions, the variables, what was found in the invoices, and how far the various steps went and lasted. In the case of errors, of course, you will be able to see exactly where it left off and do the deep dive troubleshooting here within UiPath Maestro. So it's very powerful. And we can watch it in real time here and see the animations of the process moving into the first step where the RPA workflow, which is recognizable on the icon on the upper left-hand side of this construct, is collecting all of the invoice data out of the accounts payable folder. So now that we've found an invoice, the AI agent is doing its job of extracting the data about the invoice. We can see it in the global variables in real time. And as the confidence level was above 90% for all of the data that was extracted out of this first invoice, it moved right on into the next step, which was a second AI agent, which quickly used its context. I could show you that agent here briefly, which has a prompt on how to do proper invoice matching with examples, as is a best practice. And then as a context, the bank statement that we have here with all of the historical payments that it should use as the source of truth to determine whether the given invoice was paid or not. In this case, we're talking about a paid invoice for the demo so that there's something for a human to do. We have an approval step for all paid invoices. So I'm going to go to Action Center and approve that this given invoice has indeed been paid. I'll move it into the paid folder. Now, when I click on Move to the paid folder, what we'll see in the instance is that the AI agent is completed, and the next step is kicked off with that approval that came from Action Center. So it's seamless to tie in humans and AI agents, RPA workflows into an end-to-end business process in this way. But the interesting thing here from a monitoring standpoint is the ability to then, across multiple instances of this workflow or multiple instances of multiple workflows, to watch the diagrams and even to produce heat maps of the execution times of those workflows with historical or real-time data, which gives you a powerful view of how these processes are running, where the most time is being spent, where the most human interaction is, and really focus in your operations to improve the process end to end. Zooming back out for a while, what really the impact of this kind of capability is that it expands the applicability of intelligent automation tools in business processes. So if you think about a taxonomy of business processes from L0 being the industry vertical down through lines of business and the broad business process as they're defined in ERP space being L2, like procure to pay or order to cash, these sub-processes are a major source of pain points for a lot of businesses and the management levels. And yet in intelligent automation and hyper automation, as it existed just a couple of years ago, the focus of automation was on the tasks which underlie those sub-processes. Things like interacting with email, documents, and data entry. And this is the domain of RPA, API automations, classic middleware, and even simple Gen AI tasks. But tying those into agentic workflows and AI agents allows us to model out entire sub-processes, which tie multiple tasks together, fulfilled either by humans or AI agents or RPA workflows and any combination, and make those a real automated and operational flow from one end to the other of an entire sub-process. And that brings us so much closer to the vision of automating entire business processes. And now, as you can also probably already guess, as customers and early adopters grow more confident in the uses, and as features become more prominent in business process modeling in tools like Maestro, the goal is to automate the entire business process, be it order to cash or procure to pay, leaving humans only really to do what is requiring actual human capabilities. And this is the way that we're going. My view of the technology is that we're not there yet for an entire L2 automation, but agentic workflows, as I just demonstrated today, have definitely brought us up into the L3 space, which is a huge push for intelligent automation. Now, why would I say that we're not there yet for L2 automation? And I would point out something on the descriptions of BPMN in the UiPath platform with Maestro, and they've covered a ton of ground with what they integrated into Maestro. You can import existing BPMN models in the modeling environment. Virtually all constructs and events and participants are supported. Even business rules on standard notation or in public preview on this platform. So there's a ton that you can do in the modeling space, and there aren't a lot of limitations on what you can import from tools where you've already been modeling out your business processes. The limitation so far, and I say so far because we all know that UiPath builds a lot and very fast, is the execution of non-construct entities like the events, especially. So there are lots of kinds of events within the BPMN notation standard, which aren't supported for execution in the UiPath platform today. But when they are, a lot of the process experts that have been eyeing the intelligent automation space from the other side of the table for a while are going to come over and want to shake hands. And it's going to be really exciting what will be possible in the coming years. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed the presentation today, and we will be talking again soon.